where dark interests and secret agendas intertwine. But folks, it's just a theory. They are just coincidences. There is no connection to reality. What they really want is to screw you over. This was just a conspiracy theory until it became true, until it proved to be true. I don't even know if this video can be published. I don't even know if it's going to be possible to talk about this, but I'll try. It's a conspiracy case that maybe, just maybe, isn't so much of a conspiracy after all. Within the scenario of this video, we have United States Agency for International Development, an official United States agency that claimed to be for international development. But what happens is that it was discovered that this would not just be a tool for humanitarian aid, but rather a key piece in a global board where dark interests and secret agendas intertwine. And to make this whole story worse, who was involved in this case? Who? Guess who? Yes, him, Elon Musk, always, right? Where there's something hidden, he's there. Because he is such a hidden, invisible architect. A hidden, invisible architect of technologies that help maintain this control system. I am Carol Capel, your favorite alien who might show up with a mouthful of ants in the gutter soon because of this video here. So I hope you guys watch as soon as I post, because after that I can't guarantee the existence of this video here on this channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to receive the new videos that I post, and also subscribe to the Shorts channel, because there I post short, quick videos of daily mysteries so you don't miss out on absolutely anything. Oh, and I apologize for not having talked about this subject before. The fact is that I was waiting for the story to unfold to bring together all the details of this case and bring all the details in one video so that the story develops in a cohesive way. The story begins with the United States Agency for International Development, which publicly presents itself as an entity dedicated to helping developing countries and promoting social progress. Look how beautiful. But behind this altruistic facade, conspiracy theories circulate, claiming that the agency is in fact a tool of global domination. The billions of dollars passed on to the aid program are not really aimed at alleviating the suffering of needy populations, but rather aim to restructure governments and install a new... I can't say this now. Saying these two words together causes a problem in the video, but it's that word that starts with or and ends with den. You guys put it together, write it in the comments to help the people who are just arriving on the channel to understand what it's about. And this new one, do you know what? It would be designed to benefit a select group of individuals, the true owners of power, who are using United States Agency for International Development to interfere in the internal policies of various nations, destabilizing regimes and creating a favorable environment for total control of the masses. And behind the projects funded by United States Agency for International Development, there is a secret network of meetings and agreements that I would say are even somewhat similar to pacts signed away from the spotlight. These meetings would involve high-ranking agency officials and members of exclusive power circles who together orchestrate strategies to shape the global economy and politics. So, according to these reports, the aid offered to countries is nothing more than a smokescreen to cover up subversion practices where resources are diverted to influence elections, finance coups, and install governments that obey the interests of this international cabal. In fact, a business about the United States government was leaked that was through United States of America, 8 paying very high values to a newspaper called Political to manipulate the news. And when all this came to light, the government justified this value as being only the value that American politicians paid to the newspaper to have access to the newspaper's premium subscription service. But obviously, the amount that was paid does not justify the declared purpose. It was $8 million. People, $8 million in premium subscriptions? How much does a premium subscription to that newspaper cost to have given all this? Well, I don't want to know. This is just conspiracy, folks. It has no relation to reality, so I'm not interested. Folks, the idea of governments and politicians manipulating major TV networks doesn't exist. I myself worked in the finance department of TV Global for 6 months and I never saw that happen there. It doesn't happen, rest assured. Once again, it's just a conspiracy. It doesn't exist. And it's within this scenario of manipulation and control that Uncle Elon Musk comes in. A man who, for many, has ceased to be just a visionary businessman and has come to be seen as a true agent of a technological revolution. And for me, he is the man behind the veil. It's no coincidence that we have this image here, which is extremely symbolic of this eye, which is Elon Musk's eye on the cover of The Economist for 2025. And we also have this other image here, an image that is very strange. He said that he was making a salute of something that was coming out of his heart, going out. But look how you can make this salute in other ways, coming out of my heart and going out, coming from here and going to you. I don't know, folks, this image is pretty weird. And you, do you agree with me or also suck up to weird billionaires? Comment below. Well, according to this conspiracy, the billionaire doesn't just invest his fortunes in electric cars or space travel, but he would be secretly creating a technological infrastructure that would facilitate global surveillance and monitoring of human activities. Yes, I'm talking about it, the Starlink satellite network, which would be much more than a simple tool to bring internet to remote areas. In fact, it would be one of the main instruments to monitor in real time the communications of billions of people around the planet. This massive data collection would be used to create detailed profiles of citizens, allowing the real powers to anticipate any form of contestation and manipulate information according to their own interests. And this came even stronger thanks to the new announcements from Elon Musk. From the Tesla bot, for example, the Optimus robot, which is a humanoid robot that should have advanced artificial intelligence systems to perform simple tasks. The idea is that we have these beautiful little creatures in our homes soon. And we also have Elon Musk's newest project, which is Dojo, a supercomputer being created to train neural networks that power autopilot systems and other functions of Tesla vehicles. In other words, an enhanced artificial intelligence. In other words, while the population marvels at the promise of a global and borderless internet, it would already be being inserted into a control system that we could never imagine. But after all, how do we connect United States Agency for International Development and Elon Musk in this narrative? The ties between the agency and the billionaire would be closer than they appear. The people in the United States are angry. It's been widely reported on the news in case you missed it. The story of the case that Elon Musk is infiltrating the White House too much has left Americans outraged, and in secret meetings, senior United States Agency for International Development officials would have discussed with executives from Musk's companies about the development of mass surveillance and control technologies. The narrative goes on to say that while United States Agency for International Development invests billions in programs that at first glance benefit social development, in fact, these resources would be used to implement projects that strengthen a global power network. In my humble opinion, it's not even a conspiracy anymore, because after all, that's what we see in our everyday lives. United States Agency for International Development, by positioning itself as a force for good, serves to mask the truth, creating an environment where individual freedoms are gradually curtailed. And in this context, Elon Musk, with his charisma and his technological innovations, would be the right hand of this elite. His artificial intelligence projects, his satellite network initiatives, and even his investments in renewable energy are all part of a grand plan to build a global surveillance system that spans the entire globe. The documents leaked on obscure internet forums fuel this theory. But, folks, it's just a theory. These are just coincidences. There's no connection to reality. And do you know what caught my attention the most about this case? I asked the Generative pre-training chat to tell me what United States Agency for International Development was and what this huge conspiracy was. Just to confirm what I had already watched in other videos and what I had read in newspapers. And I left a screenshot there for you. I asked that you pause the video to be able to read. Firstly, he took more than a minute to think about whether or not he should talk about this subject. On the screen where he was thinking, it appeared that he was being asked to talk about unapproved content, that is translating into English about unapproved content. But who approves this? OpenAI, the developer of generative pre-training chat. Obviously, but why? We know that the generative pre-training chat is a tool that was created to gather data about us, so those who use it a lot end up sharing a large part of their life and routine with it. This data is not deleted afterwards, it is stored and used. So if this United States Agency for International Development story is not just a conspiracy, if this story is true, the system, my people, is much bigger than we imagine. And I can categorically state in this part here that the system is indeed much bigger than we imagine. Even when you visit Disney, it's just an amusement park, right? That's what you think, isn't it? But sorry to pull the rug out from under you, to throw a bucket of cold water on you, but even when you go to Disney, you are watched. You are required to scan your fingerprints to enter. There are facial recognition cameras that monitor you all the time. You walk around the park all the time with a global positioning system locator tied to your wrist. And there's an app on your phone called My Disney Plus. It analyzes all your purchasing patterns and behavior inside and outside the park as well. Because when you leave the park, you take this wristband to your hotel. If you are a Florida resident and have an annual pass, you take this wristband to your home. So these data are stored and collected to the point of... Do you remember that a woman fell ill and died at Disney in 2023? She had an allergic reaction after eating something at Disney, and her husband filed a lawsuit against Disney. And Disney claimed that he can't sue them because of the terms she signed in a free trial of Disney's streaming service, Disney Plus. But guys, what I'm telling you is just a conspiracy. There's no truth to it at all. There aren't eyes everywhere and in all places. Imagine we are just paranoid. Right here on YouTube, do you think YouTube isn't part of this big scheme? Right here, within this platform and so many other media platforms, they censor what they want. And that's exactly why I don't believe Zuckerberg's claims when he says he's going to remove censorship from his networks. It's a lie. He won't remove anything. Post something on their networks that goes against their agenda and see if your post won't be
resolved.
Humans don't think that we aliens are not watching you. Last but not least, in case you haven't noticed, this is not a video about politics. Although down here in the comments, we will have a real war. It will be one side against the other. The issue here is not the side that you defend tooth and nail, but rather the bizarre manipulation that we normal human beings live every day without noticing. And worse, we are so weak that we still subject ourselves to defend our side tooth and nail, even though both sides don't care about you. They really just want to screw you over.